Terrible. Hey guys, here is your review of reviews for July 20th. I feel like Don. July 20th, Michael Jackson versus the Police. I guess I'll start by saying I didn't realize both these videos until after Jim actually mentioned they are both very close as far as how old they are. I believe Michael Jackson, I'm usually pretty good at this, that was late 79, early 80. I think I was in fourth grade. And the Police, I'm thinking 1981. It was either 80, 81, 81, 82, but I'm not positive. So, Jim, you're pretty correct on nailing those dates. The Police song, I've had that video stashed away for probably a year. Don mentioned there hasn't been very much Police submissions, and this was the second one. And the first one was also by myself, which made it, it had a good run in the brackets with the Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic. But I'm pretty positive that there's only been two. So, anyways, I think that video, that Police, because actually both these songs, I guess the subject would be simplicity. And I think Jim mentioned that also, how simple, or maybe it was Jay. But sometimes simple is just good. It's like just cut right to it. Not a whole lot going on. The Police video, I thought, I'm giving like a review of my videos, but I just thought, like you guys mentioned, that they looked like they were having a great time, especially for back in that day. I honestly didn't even notice. I saw skiers, but I didn't know if they were trying to pawn that off as being them. I just thought that it was just random people, but maybe I'm wrong on that. So I liked both these videos a lot, and it took me quite a while to come down to two to pick for Don. I got it down to 5 or 6, and I was gonna pick. The Police was pretty much a sure thing, but up until last minute, I had something else picked out for Don, but I went with Michael because I think that song is so underrated. There's so many good things about that. When he like does that scream at the beginning a couple times, and then the beat drops. Holy cow, that's so good. So that's why I went with these two. I think Don would probably be, and maybe Jay would probably be the easiest ones. So I think I could have gone a lot of ways with this. And so Don, I'm glad that you approved. Let's see. Let's get to the reviews here. Jay, you mentioned that Sting is overrated. I don't even know if he's relevant anymore. So I think back in the day, maybe with his solo stuff, I guess that makes sense. He was overrated. But I actually think the Police, in their heyday, I think they were underrated. I think they are so good. Um, Again, here I talk about music like I know what I'm talking about. But the riff, is it a riff? When they in the middle of that Police song, when they were breaking it down and just whoever was just jamming on the guitar, oh my god, I thought that was so good. Let's see, Jay, what else? Yeah, I'm surprised you hated. It sounds like you. I don't know if you use hated, maybe not, but it sounds like you hated the Police video. Like maybe you just didn't like the title, because I guess the title is kind of corny, and even if you want to sing along, it sounds it's kind of fun to sing along with it. Let's see, I got that. You mentioned the Seinfeld thing. You know what? That's funny you mentioned that because this song was stored away so long in my brain, and I was not a big Seinfeld watcher, and I thought it was the finale of Seinfeld. I thought it was at the beginning, but maybe you would know more than me. Maybe it was the episode before that. But when they did those dances to that song, the Michael Jackson song, it really got me back into that song. I don't know how back then, but I looked it up, and I totally forgot how good that song was. So the Seinfeld thing was interesting. You mentioned a video about Lucy dancing. I don't know what you're talking about, but that would be kind of fun to see. You mentioned the tuxedo. The tuxedo. You're right. A lot of people look good in tuxedos, and again, how happy he was. No doubt about it. He was just having so much fun. You mentioned all the shit he went through, and this was off the wall, but I'm not sure. Something tells me there was another album, but maybe not. Maybe there was another single before this one. But yeah, you're right. I mean, that guy was so mental about his looks, about his acne, about oh man, it's just terrible. Like shit. I know I'm not gonna get into that, but the way you feel about how you look, I mean, to most people, he looked fine, but something in his head he was always fucking shit up on his face until he became a freak, which, damn, that's sad. I can go on for like an hour talking about Michael Jackson and all this shit. The transformation, man, think about some of the pictures of him where he looked like a monster, with his like mouth was almost sewn shut. He looked like one of the Planet of the Apes at one point in his life. It's just sad. Like, people made fun of him, and I know he put himself in a lot of shit with hanging around with kids and shit. But whatever. Again, I can go on forever about that. So, also, my question to you, Jay, is I can hear the girls, but where was Jess in this? Like, not even one peep or one cameo from Jess? Was she sleeping? Did she just say, do your shit and leave me out of it? But I was wondering where Jess was in that. Let's see. Oh, you talked about. I don't know anything about instruments. And I know I can't play an instrument, but Hank, the video you made with the girls, the Bruno Mars, you were crushing it with the banjo or the guitar or whatever the hell you were playing. You're playing it so perfect. I don't know how you don't. It's amazing how good you are with that. And you talk about driving into pitch black. Holy shit. That would have been like a scene of a horror movie for me. I would have been shitting my pants, literally. Which brings me to something else. Here we are, almost 8 minutes. I watched a movie last week. I think it was Monday or Tuesday night. It got to me so bad. The jump scares in that thing, it messed me up. I'm still not all the way cured about it. But it was called The Visit. I know you guys probably don't have time or interest. If you ever get a chance, watch The Visit and just watch it. Holy shit. It's amazing how movies can still get to me. All right, off to Jim. Jim, you mentioned you think you were in 6th grade. I think you nailed that. I think you were pretty dead on with the years on this thing. I can definitely picture you being unsure about that song. Again, the do da 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 thing, especially at that age. Like, you don't want to sing that around your boys. But again, the instrumental on that, the music in that, I thought was so good, and it held up awesome. You talked about. Did you talk about recreating when we were at Woods Valley? That would have been fun. I can't believe you said that. I think you would be the hardest one to get into, do some recreation. But Jay mentioned it. If you guys want to do something kind of corny and fun when you guys are home, I'm all aboard on that. Especially if there's some drinks in us. Anyways, just something to think about. Then you talked about where your knowledge just comes in and so much more, especially than mine, about the percussion and the strings. I might know what you're talking about, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, sure. You know more than me. I don't know what that means, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm actually very happy that Jim enjoyed these because, again, he's hard to. He's a little harder to get on board with everything, and Jim, the fact that you picked Michael Jackson, it shows how far there was a day, I would say even 5 years ago, where you wouldn't even given Michael Jackson a thought on beating someone like the Police. But I'm glad that you are objective and you can appreciate Michael. I really, I know there was a day where you would have just sat there in front of the TV and just shook your head and not want anything to do with it. And another thing I wanted to mention is getting on to something Don said. about the discipline of not showing Michael. I think anything pre-Thriller, or I should say anything post-Thriller, would be just unfair because he went from a superstar to an all-time megastar, king of pop, just beyond belief. And the thing is, no one has even matched that since his time. He was so amazing, but before Thriller, he was just really good and still coming onto the scene, and the videos were just more simple. So I think this video just nailed it. Like, he was just still regular at that time. Anything from Thriller to Bad to the whole black and white thing he did, I think would be unfair. So I thought this was more fair, even though he ended up sweeping him. But I feel like Jim and Don actually struggled with the decision on this. Jim, you also mentioned the Thriller part. That sounded like Thriller when he broke up and did his dancing. You know what? You're right. Because I went back and I listened. Yeah, there is a lot of similarity there. And the Thriller song I think you're talking about, because it sounded similar to me also. You mentioned the marbles, which also showed to me, like, you put so much thought into this, and I'm impressed by that. You talked about Michael when he died. You actually said was he 60? I think. I knew he was 49 or 50, and I looked it up afterwards, and he was 50. He was 2 months away from being 51, so yeah. Which is actually, June 25th was his anniversary of dying. It's been 9 years already. It's just crazy. Fucking 9 years. He would have been 60 in August. And I gotta tell you, Jim, the way your message ended with the house phone ringing, holy shit, that's great. I thought only mom and dad had house phones, but that just struck me as funny, and it's probably a good decision just to say, oh, fuck it, see you guys later. On to Don Mink. You went through with it and took the beard off. I gotta tell you, I mean, the beard looked fine, but you look 6 to 10 years younger, I would say. It's a huge difference. And I also see that you haven't shaved in a few days. Are you going right back to it? So that's my question there. And I gotta say, it's amazing how you mostly you're easily confused. Like, you thought all day that these songs are for Jay. I mean, it went Jason, Jim, Bob. Like, I laughed. I laughed and I shook my head because you seem to get confused a lot with some of these things, which is funny, and I like it. And I saw you probably don't even know you did it, but you gave the Jeep wave, and I laughed at that because you talked about, like, I'm never doing that shit, and now you do it, and you probably didn't even know you did it. You probably do it all the time without even knowing. I thought that was pretty funny. I talked about that. Henry was killing me in the background with his just 3 or 4 times yelling out Michael Jackson and wearing those the VR glasses. I wore those once. The kids had them. Oh my God! They put me on the scene of Insidious, like you were in the movie. Holy shit! It was crazy. I would love to have those. So I was wondering what Henry and or the girls watch when they put those on. I'm guessing it's probably not any horror movies. What else did you say? Oh, you gave some great insight on the title of the Police song. Like, I'm sure that's accurate, but I've never heard it, and it's funny. That's great. I think that's awesome. It's amazing I never heard that they wanted the DJs to say that shit out loud. I thought that was pretty good. Okay, and like I said, oh, you mentioned you called Jeremy. That's cool. Jeremy, I want to go see again tonight. He's, I guess he's doing well as can be. He's in a lot of discomfort. I had to pick up his medicine yesterday. He was in a lot of pain. He was taking that oxycodone, and I know they say that stuff's addictive, and his mother's saying, "Don't take it." Dude, fucking, if you're in that much pain, take it. You're not gonna get addicted for 2 or 3 doses, right? I would think not. But he was in a lot of pain yesterday. Um, Doing better today. So I'm just gotta wait and see now if this thing works. It was to help him breathe better when he's sleeping, because he's having a lot of issues sleeping and like losing his breath or feeling like he's suffocating because his breathing technique was all messed up. That's it. So, Don, next week you are submitting videos for Jason, just to make sure that's clear. I got plans tomorrow during the day. Tomorrow evening, Josh and I, the plan is to go up to camp and stay till Sunday sometime. Hopefully do some fishing with Jim and Dad. Maybe make a video for you guys. I thought about going to Virginia, but Don, you're working. I was going to get there maybe Sunday or Monday, but I heard you're working Monday, Tuesday, and then I had to go back to work Wednesday night. So I hope you're not disappointed with that. So that's that on that. The cake for the party is obviously just not underway, but everything's set. The flavor, the tier, the colors, everything. What else? I guess that's about it. I don't know if any of you guys are interested in the Manny Machado trade. I know Jay is. I think that's pretty cool. Don, I was waiting to hopefully see some pictures from the All-Star game. It sounds like a great experience for some great memories. That's very cool. That's like once-in-a-lifetime shit right there. So other than that, I hope you guys have a good time together. Hopefully the forecast is off and you guys have a couple of nice days to do some stuff. So anyways, I'll see you guys next week. Jim, I will see you tomorrow sometime. All right, guys. Out.